In a distant corner of the galaxy, far from Earth and its bustling colonies, an alarm blared aboard the *SS Vanguard*. The ship was small but sturdy, designed for long patrols in the vast emptiness of space. Its mission was simple: monitor restricted space, a region marked by ancient treaties and guarded by automated sentinels. Captain Ryan Carter stood on the bridge, his sharp eyes scanning the screens in front of him. His crew worked quickly, their movements precise as they processed the incoming alert. "Captain, we have an unknown contact," said Lieutenant Olivia Grayson, her voice calm but tinged with urgency. She sat at the communication station, her fingers flying over the controls. "It's human. A warship." Ryan frowned. Human ships weren't supposed to be here. Restricted space was off-limits, a buffer zone between rival factions and alien territories. The treaties had been in place for decades, enforced by both diplomacy and automated defenses. Yet here was a human vessel, breaking every rule. "Any identification?" Ryan asked, his tone measured but firm. Olivia hesitated before shaking her head. "Negative, sir. It's not broadcasting any registry codes, but it's definitely a warship. Big, heavily armed, and moving fast." Chief Engineer Daniel Harper leaned forward from his seat near the back of the bridge. Could it be a smuggler's rig? Some old freighter retrofitted for combat? Ryan shook his head. No, smugglers don't come this deep into restricted space. They know better. This is something else. He turned to Security Officer Samantha Brooks, who stood quietly near the door. "Sam, prep the boarding parties, just in case, and make sure the weapon systems are online." Sam nodded and left the bridge, her boots clicking softly against the metal floor. Meanwhile, Ryan tapped a command into the console in front of him, bringing up a visual feed. The unknown ship loomed large on the screen, its sleek design unfamiliar yet undeniably human. It wasn't like anything in the fleet he knew. Something about it felt wrong. "Aegis," Ryan called out, addressing the ship's artificial intelligence. "Can you confirm if there are any authorized vessels scheduled to pass through this sector?" The AI responded immediately, its smooth voice filling the room. "Negative, Captain. No authorized vessels are registered for entry into restricted space within the next standard cycle." Ryan exhaled slowly, his mind racing. Whoever these people were, they weren't supposed to be here, and that made them dangerous. "Lieutenant Grayson, open a channel," he ordered. "Let's see what they have to say for themselves." Olivia nodded and activated the comms. After a moment, a figure appeared on the main screen. The man was tall, with short dark hair and piercing blue eyes. He wore a uniform Ryan didn't recognize, adorned with insignias that suggested high rank. Behind him, the interior of the other ship looked sleek and modern, almost too perfect. "This is Commander Ethan Cole of the Eclipse *," the man said, his voice steady and commanding. "To whom am I speaking?" Ryan straightened slightly, meeting the man's gaze. "I'm Captain Ryan Carter of the *SS Vanguard*. You're in restricted space, Commander. State your business." Ethan's expression didn't change. "Our presence here is none of your concern, Captain. We are on a classified mission under direct orders from our superiors. Stand down and let us proceed." Ryan's jaw tightened. Classified mission or not, no one entered restricted space without clearance. "I'm afraid I can't do that, Commander. You're violating interstellar law. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded." For a moment, silence hung heavy between the two ships. Then Ethan spoke again, his tone colder now. "That won't be necessary, Captain. We'll leave once our objective is complete. Until then, stay out of our way." Before Ryan could respond, the transmission cut off, leaving the bridge eerily quiet. Olivia glanced at him, her brow furrowed. "What do we do now, sir?" Ryan stared at the screen, where the *Eclipse* continued its steady approach. Whatever this was, it wasn't going to end easily. "We keep watching them," he said finally, "and we get ready for anything. The tension on the *SS Vanguard* was thick enough to cut with a knife. Captain Ryan Carter stood at the center of the bridge, his arms crossed as he studied the main screen. The *Eclipse* continued its slow but deliberate advance, ignoring repeated hails from Lieutenant Olivia Grayson. No response came, only silence and the faint hum of the ship's engines as it moved closer. Ryan glanced at Sam, who had returned to the bridge after readying the boarding parties. She gave him a slight nod, signaling that the team was prepared for action. Still, something about the situation felt off. The *Eclipse* wasn't behaving like a typical rogue vessel. It wasn't firing weapons or trying to evade. Instead, it seemed cautious, almost hesitant. "Lieutenant," Ryan said, breaking the quiet. "Try reaching them again. Maybe they'll talk this time." Olivia nodded and opened another channel. After a few moments, the same face appeared on the screen. Commander Ethan Cole. His expression remained calm, though there was a flicker of irritation in his eyes. "You're persistent, Captain," Ethan said, his voice smooth but firm. "What do you want?" "I want answers," Ryan replied. "You're in restricted space without authorization. That makes you a threat. Explain yourself, or we'll take action." Ethan sighed, leaning back slightly in his seat. For a brief moment, he looked tired, as if carrying the weight of something far bigger than himself. Then he straightened up, his tone shifting to one of quiet authority. "Our mission is classified," he said. "But I assure you, we mean no harm. We're here to retrieve something important. Once we have it, we'll leave." Ryan narrowed his eyes. "Retrieve what? There's nothing out here but empty space and old ruins." "That's not your concern," Ethan shot back, his patience clearly wearing thin. "All you need to know is that our objective is peaceful. Let us do our job, and no one gets hurt." Before Ryan could respond, a soft beep drew everyone's attention to Daniel Harper's station. The engineer frowned, tapping rapidly at his console. "Captain," Daniel said, his voice low but urgent. "There's something strange about their propulsion system. It's advanced, way beyond anything I've seen before. And their energy signature, it doesn't match standard human tech." Ryan's stomach tightened. Advanced technology meant one thing. Whoever these people were, they weren't just ordinary rebels or smugglers. They had access to resources and knowledge that shouldn't exist. "Any signs of alien involvement?" Ryan asked. Daniel shook his head. "Not directly. But this isn't normal. It's like they've reverse-engineered something ancient, or maybe found something they weren't supposed to." The implications weighed heavily on Ryan's mind. If the *Eclipse* had discovered forbidden tech, it could destabilize the fragile peace between factions across the galaxy. He turned back to the screen, where Ethan was still waiting. "We can't let you continue," Ryan said firmly. "Not until we know more. Power down your systems and prepare for inspection." Ethan's jaw tightened, and for a moment, Ryan thought he might refuse outright. But then the commander leaned forward, his piercing blue eyes locking onto Ryan's. "Captain, listen carefully," Ethan said, his voice dropping to a near whisper. "We don't have time for this. My crew is running on borrowed time, and every second counts. We're not your enemy, but if you force our hand, we will defend ourselves." The threat hung in the air, unspoken yet clear. Ryan hesitated, weighing his options. The *Vanguard* was smaller and less armed than the *Eclipse*. A direct confrontation would be risky, possibly disastrous. Yet doing nothing wasn't an option either. "Sir," Olivia interrupted, her voice cutting through the tension. "I'm picking up faint distress signals coming from the *Eclipse*. It's weak, but it's there." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Distress signals? From a warship?" Olivia nodded. "Yes, sir. They're masking it well, but it's definitely coming from their ship." This changed things. If the *Eclipse* was in trouble, it might explain their evasive behavior. Ryan exchanged a glance with Sam, who shrugged slightly. Even she seemed unsure now. "Fine," Ryan said finally, turning back to the screen. "Here's the deal. You send a small team over to my ship for repairs. In exchange, I'll hold off on taking further action. But understand this. If you try anything, we'll respond." Ethan studied him for a long moment, then nodded slowly. "Agreed. We'll send a team. But remember, Captain, this is your choice. Don't make me regret trusting you." With that, the transmission ended, leaving the bridge silent once more. Ryan exhaled deeply, feeling the weight of the decision settling on his shoulders. Whatever happened next, one thing was certain. The Eclipse wasn't going to be easy to handle. The airlock hissed open, and a small group from the Eclipse stepped onto the SS Vanguard *. Commander Ethan Cole led the way, his presence commanding despite the tense situation. Behind him followed Dr. Laura Myers, a petite woman with sharp features and an air of quiet intelligence. She carried a data pad tucked under one arm, her eyes scanning the interior of the Vanguard * with keen interest. Two more crew members from the Eclipse * accompanied them, both dressed in practical uniforms but unarmed. A gesture Ryan had insisted on before allowing them aboard. Ryan stood at the entrance to the bridge, flanked by Sam and Olivia. He watched as Ethan approached, his expression neutral but his stance firm. The commander stopped a few feet away, meeting Ryan's gaze with unwavering confidence. "Captain Carter," Ethan said, inclining his head slightly. "Thank you for your cooperation." Ryan didn't return the courtesy. "Let's keep this brief, Commander. You're here for repairs, nothing more. My crew will oversee everything." Ethan nodded, unfazed. "Understood. We'll stay out of your way." He gestured toward Laura. "This is Dr. Myers. She'll coordinate with your engineer to assess the damage." Laura stepped forward, offering a polite smile. "It's nice to meet you. I hope we can resolve this quickly." Daniel Harper appeared moments later, wiping grease-streaked hands on a rag. His usual easygoing demeanor was replaced with cautious professionalism as he sized up the newcomers. When his eyes landed on Laura, he paused briefly, noticing the subtle intensity in her gaze. Something about her seemed different. "I'm Chief Engineer Harper," Daniel said, extending a hand. Laura shook it firmly, her grip steady. "Dr. Laura Myers," she replied. "I'm familiar with most human systems, but yours has some unique modifications. I'll need access to your diagnostic tools." Daniel hesitated, glancing at Ryan for approval. The captain gave a slight nod, and Daniel motioned for Laura to follow him. As they walked away, Ethan turned back to Ryan. "My crew needs rest," Ethan said. "They've been through a lot. If you could provide quarters." "They'll stay in the holding area," Ryan interrupted, his tone leaving no room for argument. "Food and medical supplies will be provided, but until I know more, that's as far as my trust goes." Ethan's jaw tightened, but he didn't push the issue. Instead, he offered a curt nod. "Fair enough. But remember, Captain, we're not your prisoners." Ryan crossed his arms. "Not yet, anyway." As Ethan and his remaining crew were escorted to the holding area, Sam lingered near Ryan. Her sharp eyes tracked every movement of the visitors, her instincts telling her something wasn't right. "They're hiding something," Sam muttered under her breath. "Did you see how that doctor looked at Harper? Like she was sizing him up." Ryan frowned. "Yeah, I noticed. Keep an eye on them, and make sure the holding area is secure." Sam nodded and moved off, her boots clicking against the metal floor. Meanwhile, Olivia remained at her station, monitoring communications. She hadn't missed the faint distress signals earlier, and now she was determined to dig deeper. Tapping quietly at her console, she rerouted a portion of the ship's sensors to focus on the Eclipse *. What she found made her pause. "Captain," Olivia called softly, keeping her voice low. "You should see this." Ryan stepped over, leaning down to view her screen. The data showed unusual energy fluctuations emanating from the asterisk eclipse asterisk, far beyond what would be expected for a damaged ship. There were also traces of encrypted transmissions being sent, not to the asterisk Vanguard asterisk, but elsewhere. "They're communicating with someone," Olivia said. "And whatever they're doing, it's draining their power fast." Ryan straightened, his mind racing. If the asterisk eclipse asterisk was in contact with another party, it meant their mission was bigger than they'd let on. He glanced toward the corridor, where Laura had disappeared with Daniel. Was she truly here to fix their ship, or was she gathering intel? "Keep monitoring those signals," Ryan instructed, "and alert me if anything changes." As he turned away, Olivia caught his arm. "Sir, do you think they're dangerous?" Ryan paused, considering the question. "I don't know yet, but one thing's for sure, they're not telling us the whole truth. And until we figure out what they're really after, we can't let our guard down." With that, Ryan headed toward engineering, determined to get answers, even if it meant confronting the mysterious Dr. Myers himself. In the cramped confines of the asterisk Vanguard asterisk's engineering bay, Daniel Harper worked alongside Dr. Laura Myers. The hum of machinery filled the air as they pored over diagnostic readouts and schematics. At first glance, it seemed like a routine repair operation, except nothing about this situation felt routine. Laura moved with precision, her hand. Ryan Carter stood on the bridge of the asterisk SS Vanguard asterisk, his mind racing. The pieces weren't fitting together. Laura Myers' cryptic words about something ancient hidden in restricted space gnawed at him. What could be out here, in this desolate region of the galaxy, that was worth risking everything for? He tapped a command into the console, pulling up a map of the surrounding area. It showed nothing but empty voids and the faint outlines of long-abandoned stations, relics from humanity's first push into the stars. "Captain," Age's smooth voice interrupted his thoughts. "You appear troubled. May I assist?" Ryan sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "Aegis, cross-reference any records of significant artifacts or anomalies in this sector. Focus on anything tied to ancient technology, or anything classified." The AI processed the request silently. Moments later, a series of data points appeared on the screen. Most were irrelevant, fragments of old mining operations or forgotten research outposts. But one entry caught Ryan's eye, a derelict station designated as DS-14, located just beyond the edge of their current position. According to the logs, it had been abandoned centuries ago after an unexplained disaster. Strangely, access to its full history was restricted even within military archives. "Aegis, what do we know about DS-14? Ryan asked. "Limited information is available," Aegis replied. "It served as a research facility during humanity's early expansion. Official reports claim structural failures led to its decommissioning. However, there are indications of classified experiments involving alien technology." Ryan's stomach tightened. Alien technology. That had to be what the asterisk eclipse asterisk was after. He glanced toward Olivia, who was still monitoring communications. "Lieutenant, has the asterisk eclipse asterisk made any moves?" Olivia shook her head. "Not yet. They're staying put, for now." Ryan nodded. Whatever the asterisk eclipse asterisk wanted, it likely tied back to DS-14. If they didn't act quickly, Ethan Cole might reach it first. Making a decision, he turned to Sam. "Gather a team. We're heading to DS-14. Sam raised an eyebrow. "Sir, are you sure that's wise? Splitting our forces." "We don't have a choice," Ryan interrupted. "If the asterisk eclipse asterisk hits there before us, we'll lose control of the situation. And if what they're after is dangerous." He trailed off, letting the implication hang in the air. Within minutes, Ryan, Olivia, Sam, and 2 additional crew members boarded a shuttle. As they left the asterisk Vanguard asterisk, the vast emptiness of space stretched out around them. The journey to DS-14 was short but tense. No one spoke much, each lost in their own thoughts, When the derelict station finally came into view, it loomed like a ghost against the endless blackness. Its exterior was battered and scarred, evidence of age and neglect. "This place gives me the creeps," one of the crew members muttered under his breath. Ryan ignored the comment, focusing instead on the task ahead. They docked with the station and suited up, preparing for whatever lay inside. The airlock creaked open with a groan, revealing dimly lit corridors coated in layers of dust. Strange symbols etched into the walls glowed faintly, remnants of alien design. "This isn't human," Olivia whispered, running her fingers over one of the markings. "No kidding," Ryan replied. "Stay sharp. We don't know what we're walking into." As they moved deeper into the station, the atmosphere grew heavier, almost oppressive. The lights flickered sporadically, casting eerie shadows. Then they found it. A chamber sealed behind reinforced doors. Inside sat a crystalline structure, pulsating with an otherworldly energy. "That's it," Ryan said, his voice low. "This has to be what they're looking for." Before anyone could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. Red warning lights flashed, and the ground trembled slightly. The artifact had detected their presence, and it wasn't happy. The alarms screamed through the derelict station, their shrill tones echoing off the cold, metallic walls. Ryan and his team froze, their eyes darting toward the crystalline artifact at the center of the chamber. Its glow intensified, shifting from a soft blue to a violent red. The air around it seemed to hum with energy, vibrating in a way that made Ryan's skin crawl. "What's happening?" Olivia asked, her voice barely audible over the noise. She backed away instinctively, clutching her rifle tightly. "I don't know," Ryan replied, his jaw clenched. "But we need to shut this down. Now." Before anyone could act, the ground beneath them shuddered violently. Dust rained down from the ceiling, and the lights flickered erratically. Sam moved closer to the artifact, scanning it with her handheld device. "It's reacting to us," she said, her tone urgent. "Every time we get near, the energy spikes. If we don't contain it, this whole place could collapse." Ryan cursed under his breath. They were running out of time. "Olivia, see if you can override the system. There has to be a failsafe somewhere." Olivia nodded and rushed to a nearby console embedded in the wall. Her fingers flew across the controls, but the interface was unresponsive. Frustrated, she slammed her palm against the panel. "It's locked. I can't access anything." "Then we'll have to do this manually," Ryan snapped. He turned to the others. "Sam, cover me. We're getting close enough to disable it." As they approached the artifact, the vibrations grew stronger. The air felt heavier, pressing down on them like an invisible weight. One of the crew members hesitated, panic creeping into his expression. "We shouldn't be here," he shouted. "This thing, it's alive. Stay focused." Ryan barked, though even he couldn't ignore the growing sense of unease. The artifact pulsed again, brighter and faster, as if warning them to stay back. But Ryan pressed forward, determined not to let fear take hold. Just as he reached out to touch the crystal, a loud explosion rocked the station. The force threw everyone off their feet, sending debris flying in all directions. Smoke filled the air, and the alarms grew louder, almost deafening. Through the chaos, Ryan heard voices shouting, not from his team, but from somewhere else. "They're here," Sam growled, scrambling to her feet. She raised her weapon, aiming at the doorway. Moments later, Ethan Cole and two of his crew members burst into the chamber, weapons drawn. "Step away from the artifact, Captain," Ethan ordered, his voice calm but commanding. His eyes locked onto Ryan, unwavering. Ryan slowly stood, raising his hand slightly to show he wasn't armed. "You really think this is worth dying for, Commander? This thing's unstable. It'll tear this station apart. And us with it." Ethan didn't flinch. "I didn't come this far to leave empty-handed. Stand down, or we'll take it by force." For a moment, no one moved. The tension between the two groups was palpable, thick enough to cut with a knife. Then Laura Myers stepped forward, pushing past Ethan. Her face was pale but resolute. "Enough," she said firmly, stepping toward the artifact. "We don't have time for this. If we fight, none of us will make it out alive." Ryan frowned. "And what exactly are you planning to do?" Laura ignored him, pulling a small device from her pocket. She activated it, and a holographic display appeared, showing complex equations and energy readings. "This artifact isn't just a power source. It's a key to something much bigger. But if we don't stabilize it now, it'll destroy everything within 100 kilometers." "You knew about this?" Ryan demanded, glaring at Ethan. Ethan hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, but we didn't know how dangerous it would be until now. We need your help to stop it, or we're all dead." Ryan exchanged a glance with Sam and Olivia. Both looked uneasy but nodded reluctantly. Whatever personal vendettas or suspicions existed, survival came first. "Fine," Ryan said finally. "Tell us what to do." Laura handed him the device. "Follow these instructions, exactly as they're written. One wrong move, and we're done." As Ryan studied the hologram, Ethan's team joined them, working together despite the tension. For now, their shared goal outweighed their differences. But deep down, Ryan knew this truce wouldn't last long, and when it ended, things would get ugly again. The chamber was a flurry of activity as both teams worked together to stabilize the artifact. Ryan and Ethan stood side by side, their earlier animosity set aside for the moment. Laura Myers directed them with precision, her voice cutting through the chaos like a knife. "Adjust the frequency to 450 megahertz, she instructed, pointing at the holographic display in Ryan's hands. "If it goes any higher, the energy output will spiral out of control." Ryan nodded, relaying the command to Olivia, who typed furiously into a portable console connected to the artifact. The crystal pulsed erratically, its glow shifting between shades of red and blue. Each pulse sent tremors rippling through the station, threatening to bring the entire structure down around them. Sam kept watch near the entrance, her weapon trained on Ethan's crew. Trust didn't come easily, especially not under these circumstances. But even she couldn't deny that everyone in the room shared the same goal: survival. Still, her finger hovered over the trigger, ready for anything. Ethan glanced at Ryan, his expression unreadable. "You're taking a big risk helping us, Captain." Ryan shot him a sharp look. "Not helping you. Helping myself and my crew. If this thing blows, we all go with it." Ethan didn't argue. Instead, he focused on the task at hand, working alongside Daniel Harper, who had been pulled into the effort after arriving late from the Vanguard. Daniel moved quickly, his technical expertise proving invaluable as he patched together makeshift tools to interface with the alien tech. Laura monitored the readings closely, her brow furrowed in concentration. "We're close," she said, her voice tight with urgency. "But the containment field is weakening. We need to reinforce it before the next surge." "What happens if we don't?" Sam asked, glancing over her shoulder. Laura hesitated, then spoke bluntly. "The artifact will overload. When that happens, the explosion will be catastrophic, not just for this station, but for anything within range, including your ship." That sobering thought spurred everyone to work faster. Sweat dripped down their faces as they struggled against time and the artifact's unpredictable behavior. Just when it seemed like they might succeed, the ground shook violently again, nearly knocking several people off their feet. "We're losing it," Olivia shouted, panic creeping into her voice. The hologram flickered, and the numbers on the screen began climbing rapidly. "Divert power from the secondary grid," Laura barked, grabbing the device from Ryan's hands. She tapped commands furiously, her movements frantic but precise. Daniel cursed under his breath as sparks flew from one of the consoles. This system wasn't built for this kind of load. It's going to fry. Then bypass it. Ethan snapped, shoving another tool into Daniel's hands. "Do whatever it takes." Ryan stepped back momentarily, observing the scene. For all their differences, the two groups were functioning as one unit, desperation forcing cooperation where trust had failed. Yet beneath the surface, old tensions simmered. He knew this fragile alliance wouldn't last once the immediate threat passed. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Laura let out a sharp breath. It's stabilizing. The energy levels are dropping. The artifact's glow dims slightly, its pulsing slowing to a steady rhythm. The alarms stopped blaring, replaced by an eerie silence. Everyone froze, listening intently for any sign of further danger. When nothing happened, a collective sigh of relief swept through the chamber. That should hold, for now, Laura said, her shoulders sagging with exhaustion. But we can't stay here. This place won't last much longer. Ryan nodded, stepping forward. Agreed. Let's get back to the ships. We'll figure out our next move from there. As they prepared to leave, Ethan caught Ryan's arm. His grip was firm, his eyes intense. Captain, listen to me. This isn't over. That artifact, it's part of something bigger, something humanity isn't ready for, if it falls into the wrong hands. Ryan pulled his arm free, his expression hardening. Then maybe you shouldn't have come looking for it in the first place. Ethan opened his mouth to respond, but the sound of crumbling metal interrupted him. The station groaned ominously, chunks of the ceiling falling around them. Without another word, they turned and ran, racing toward the shuttle bay. Behind them, DS-14 began to collapse, its ancient structure succumbing to centuries of decay. And the strain of the artifact's activation. As they escaped the dying station, one truth lingered in the air. The artifact had changed everything, and neither side would forget it. The shuttle ride back to the *SS Vanguard* was tense and silent. Ryan sat at the front, his hands gripping the controls tightly as he navigated through the debris field left by the collapsing station. Behind him, Ethan Cole and his crew exchanged uneasy glances, while Laura Myers stared out the window, her face pale and drawn. The artifact's near destruction had shaken everyone, but its implications weighed heaviest on those who knew the truth. When they docked with the Vanguard*, Daniel Harper was waiting for them, his face etched with worry. "Captain, we've got a problem," he said immediately. "The Eclipse*, its systems are destabilizing. Whatever that artifact did, it's affecting their ship." Ryan frowned. "How bad is it?" "Bad enough," Daniel replied. "Their core is leaking energy, and if they don't shut it down soon, they'll lose containment. It could take out half the sector." Ryan turned to Ethan, who looked grim but unsurprised. "You knew this would happen, didn't you? That thing wasn't just dangerous, it was unstable." Ethan nodded reluctantly. "Yes, but we didn't have a choice. Not after what we found." "What exactly did you find?" Ryan demanded, his voice rising. "What's so important that you'd risk tearing apart the galaxy to get it?" Laura stepped forward, her voice trembling slightly. "It's not just an artifact. It's a piece of something bigger, a network of ancient technology scattered across the stars. Whoever controls it has unimaginable power, enough to reshape civilizations or destroy them." Ryan stared at her, the weight of her words sinking in. "And you think you're the ones to control it?" "We don't want control," Ethan interjected sharply. "We want survival. Humanity isn't ready for what's coming. If factions like yours or others discover the full extent of that network, it'll lead to war. A war no one will survive." Sam crossed her arms, skepticism written all over her face. "That sounds awfully convenient. You break the law, put lives at risk, and now you're claiming it's for the greater good." "It's the truth," Laura insisted, her tone pleading. "You saw how powerful that artifact was. Imagine dozens, hundreds, of them linked together. Do you really think humanity can handle that kind of responsibility?" Ryan rubbed his temples, feeling the beginnings of a headache. He didn't trust Ethan or his crew, but he couldn't deny the evidence in front of him. The artifact had nearly killed them all, and now the Eclipse was on the brink of disaster because of it. If they didn't act quickly, the situation would spiral out of control. "Fine," Ryan said finally. "We'll help stabilize your ship, but only because letting it blow up here endangers my crew and my ship. After that, we're done." "Understood." Ethan hesitated, then nodded. "Understood." The two crews worked side by side once again, this time aboard the Eclipse *. Its corridors were eerily quiet, the hum of failing systems creating an unsettling atmosphere. Daniel and Laura coordinated repairs, their earlier tension giving way to mutual respect as they focused on saving the ship. Meanwhile, Sam kept a close eye on Ethan's crew, her hand never far from her weapon. As the hours dragged on, progress became visible. The leaking energy was contained, and the ship's core stabilized enough to prevent catastrophe. But the damage was extensive, requiring weeks, if not months, of repair work. They wouldn't be going anywhere anytime soon. Back aboard the Vanguard *, Ryan met with Olivia and Sam in private. "This changes everything," he said quietly. "If what they say is true, and I'm not saying it is, we're dealing with something far beyond us." Olivia frowned. "Do you believe them?" "I don't know," Ryan admitted. "But I do know one thing. We can't let anyone else find out about this. Not until we understand the full picture." Sam leaned forward, her expression serious. "And what about Ethan? Do we turn him over to command? Because if we do, they'll tear him apart trying to get answers." Ryan sighed, staring at the floor. "For now, we keep them close. Watch them. Learn what we can. But make no mistake, they're still our prisoners." Unbeknownst to them, Ethan stood on the bridge of the Eclipse *, staring out at the stars. His mind raced with thoughts of what lay ahead. The artifact had shown him a glimpse of the future, one fraught with danger and uncertainty. And though he had survived this time, he knew the fight was far from over. The *SS Vanguard * and the Eclipse * floated silently in the void, their crews locked in an uneasy truce. Repairs on the Eclipse * were progressing slowly, but tensions aboard both ships remained high. Captain Ryan Carter paced the bridge of the Vanguard *, his mind racing with unanswered questions. The artifact's power, and its potential danger, loomed large in his thoughts. He knew they couldn't leave things as they were. If Ethan Cole was right about the network of ancient technology, then humanity was walking blind into a storm it wasn't prepared for. "Captain," Olivia Grayson said, breaking the silence, "we've got incoming transmissions from command. They're asking for a status update." Ryan stopped pacing and turned to her, his expression grim. "Tell them we're still assessing the situation, and that we need more time." Olivia hesitated. "How long can we stall them?" "Command isn't going to sit back forever." "I know," Ryan replied. "But if we tell them about the artifact, or the Eclipse *, they'll send reinforcements. And once that happens, there's no telling what they'll do to get answers." Sam stepped forward, her arms crossed. "You're talking about keeping this under wraps indefinitely." "That's risky, sir. Sooner or later, someone will find out." "I'm aware of the risks," Ryan said firmly. "But right now, we're the only ones who know the full picture, or at least part of it. Until we understand what we're dealing with, we keep this between us." Meanwhile, aboard the Eclipse *, Ethan Cole stood in the engineering bay, watching as Laura Myers worked tirelessly to stabilize the ship's systems. Her face was pale, exhaustion etched into every line, but she refused to stop. Ethan approached her cautiously, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You need rest," he said softly. "You've been at this for hours." Laura shook her head, her voice barely above a whisper. "I can't. Not yet. If something goes wrong again, I won't forgive myself." Ethan sighed, his own guilt weighing heavily on him. "This isn't your fault, Laura. None of us could have predicted how dangerous that artifact would be." "But we should have," she snapped, turning to face him. "We knew the risks when we came here." We gambled with lives, including ours, and now look where we are. Stuck in the middle of nowhere, trying to fix a mess we created. Ethan didn't respond immediately. Instead, he stared at the floor, his jaw tightening. Finally, he spoke, his voice low and measured. If we don't finish what we started, all of this will have been for nothing. Humanity needs to know what's out there, not just the power, but the responsibility that comes with it. If we walk away now, someone else will pick up where we left off. Someone worse. Laura looked at him, her eyes filled with doubt. And what happens when they ask why we did it? What happens when they demand answers we can't give? Ethan straightened, his resolve hardening. Then we'll deal with it. Together. Back aboard the Vanguard Ryan called a meeting with his senior officers. We need a plan, he began. The Eclipse is damaged, but not beyond repair. Once they're operational, they'll try to leave. And we can't let that happen without knowing more. What are you suggesting? Sam asked, her tone cautious. I'm suggesting containment, Ryan replied. We keep them here until we figure out exactly what they're after. And if necessary, we take steps to ensure they don't cause further harm. The room fell silent, the weight of Ryan's words hanging heavy in the air. Olivia broke the quiet. What about the artifact? Do we destroy it? Ryan shook his head. We can't. Not until we know more. Destroying it might trigger something worse, or alert whatever built it. Before anyone could respond, alarms blared across the Vanguard Aegis' voice filled the room. Captain, sensors detect an energy spike from the derelict station. It's collapsing. Ryan's heart sank. Get me visuals. On the main screen, the remnants of DS-14 crumbled into dust, swallowed by the void. But amidst the destruction, a faint glow pulsed, one final burst of energy from the artifact before it vanished entirely. What does that mean? Olivia whispered. Ryan didn't answer. He didn't know. But one thing was certain. The artifact had left its mark, and the galaxy would never be the same. The days that followed were tense and uncertain. The Vanguard remained anchored near the now-destroyed derelict station, its crew keeping a close watch on the Eclipse. Repairs on Ethan's ship progressed steadily, but Ryan knew it was only a matter of time before they finished. And when that happened, the fragile truce between the two ships would shatter. On the bridge of the Vanguard Ryan stood staring out at the endless expanse of stars. His mind replayed the events of the past week, the artifact, the near destruction of both ships, and the cryptic warnings from Ethan and Laura. He couldn't shake the feeling that they were sitting on the edge of something far bigger than anyone realized. Humanity wasn't ready for what lay ahead, and yet there was no turning back. Captain, Olivia said softly, breaking his thoughts. We've received orders from command. They're sending a patrol fleet to investigate. Ryan turned sharply. When? They'll be here in 3 days, she replied. They want answers, and they're not taking no for an answer. Sam stepped forward, her expression grim. If they find the Eclipse, they'll arrest everyone on board. And if they learn about the artifact, they'll tear apart the galaxy looking for more, Ryan finished. He sighed heavily, rubbing his temples. Then we don't give them the chance. What do you mean? Sam asked. I mean we make sure the Eclipse is gone before they arrive, Ryan said firmly, but not without conditions. Ethan gives us everything he knows about the artifact and the network it's connected to. No secrets, no lies. Olivia frowned. And if he refuses? Then we turn him over to command, Ryan replied. Either way, this ends here. Later that day, Ryan met with Ethan aboard the Eclipse. The commander looked weary but resolute as he listened to Ryan's terms. When Ryan finished speaking, Ethan leaned back, his eyes narrowing. You're asking me to trust you, Ethan said finally, after everything we've been through. No, Ryan corrected. I'm giving you a choice. Work with us, or face the consequences. Either way, your mission ends here." For a long moment, Ethan didn't respond. Then he glanced at Laura, who stood quietly nearby. She nodded slightly, her expression unreadable. Turning back to Ryan, Ethan extended his hand. "Fine," he said. "You have my word. We'll share everything." The next 48 hours were a blur of activity. Ethan and his crew handed over every scrap of data they had collected: maps, coordinates, research logs, all pointing to fragments of the ancient network scattered across the stars. It was overwhelming, more than Ryan's crew could process in such a short time. But one thing was clear: humanity's future depended on how wisely, or unwisely, it handled this discovery. As the repairs on the Eclipse neared completion, Ryan gathered his team for a final briefing. "This isn't over," he said. "What we've learned changes everything. Command will demand answers, but we can't let them rush into this blindly. We need to guide them, to show them the stakes. And if they don't listen?" Sam asked. "Then we fight to protect what matters," Ryan replied. "Not just our ship or our crew, but humanity itself." The morning of the third day arrived, and the Eclipse prepared to leave. Ethan approached Ryan one last time, his expression somber. "Whatever happens next, Captain, remember this: we did what we thought was right. For all of us." Ryan nodded. "I hope you're right, Commander. For everyone's sake." With that, the Eclipse powered up its engines and disappeared into the void, leaving the Vanguard alone in the silent emptiness of space. As the patrol fleet arrived hours later, Ryan filed his report, careful to omit certain truths while emphasizing the need for caution. The galaxy had changed forever, and whether humanity rose to meet the challenge or fell to its own hubris remained to be seen. But for now, peace prevailed, and that was enough.